And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. Petrol's changing, according to the government, and many of us will need to pay attention. It's all about the E numbers, don't you know? Never mind which chemicals are in your frozen meals. It's the ingredients keeping your car going that you need to know. And it's called the E10, the new wonder fuel being lauded by the media and Boris the tree hugger. Now I found this on Twitter, where the twats go to twat, from Right Said Fred, that piqued my attention. Let's have a listen to this, shall we?
Alright, so I just want to make everyone aware, the government is changing the fuel to ethanol. And the reason why they're doing this is it degrades the older cars quicker, so they're trying to take off all the old cars off the road, and they're being sneaky by doing this, by adding ethanol to our fuel, which is going to damage the delivery system of the fuel and will also damage the engines. This is something to be really wary of, and if you have an older car, so if you're looking pre-2010, at least probably pre-2015, it's something you need to look into, is actually changing your fuel delivery system to actually help combat the ethanol that they're adding to the fuel. It's really bad stuff.
Now that's quite worrying is info, isn't it, everyone? So I went and found out a little bit more for everyone, and it's much, much worse than even AE gave it credit for. This is a report in Autocar that lays out a major flaw in Boris's Green Deal bullcrap. In order to make conventional fuels less bad, it was decided to blend in some renewable content such as biodiesel and ethanol. This is nothing new. It's been going on with petrol and diesel in the UK for the past 10 years. Apparently, blending renewable fuels in this way has contributed to a CO2 emissions reduction equal to taking more than 1 million cars off the road. Sounds lovely and fluffy and great, right? Now, if you didn't know, this nation runs on a mix of 95% unleaded petrol and up to 5% ethanol. So we already have a slight amount of ethanol in our fuel, also known as E5. Ethanol is an alcohol-based fuel and is made from a range of plants, including sugarcane and grain. The upside is that, are we ready? Unlike regular unleaded petrol, ethanol actually absorbs CO2, partially offsetting greenhouse gas emissions. Partially offsetting. I bet it's a minuscule amount. Now we learn that we're going to be going to E10, which obviously means up to 10% ethanol petrol mix. The SMMT estimated that 92% of petrol engine vehicles are compatible with E10. So it isn't a compatibility issue, it's much deeper than that. Since 2011, all new cars are compatible with E10. So why the problem, everyone's probably wondering? Well, what they're not telling you is the most important part, and that is it's going to cost you your vehicle. Well, drivers of cars registered before 2002 have been advised not to use E10 in their vehicles because problems have been reported. So collectors of classic cars will be happy then, and even modern classics. And don't think it stops there, everyone. Lawnmowers, classic bikes, mopeds, anything with a petrol engine will be affected by this. Also, E10 is potentially less efficient than the current E5 blend of petrol. What does that mean to you? Well, the problem is, in smaller engine vehicles, so say drivers of shopping cars, would end up filling the cars more often, which isn't the point of owning a small car with a tiny engine. And here is the main kicker, everyone. E10 petrol's higher bioethanol content is corrosive to, are we ready for this? Rubber parts, gaskets, seals, metals and plastics, which cause engine damage. So effectively everything an engine's made out of. So it could dislodge, say, deposits in older engines and fuel systems, causing blockages. It could only be used with expert advice, is what they're saying, which pretty much means never for the likes of me and you, doesn't it? They don't mention that bombshell, do they? The quick fix of everyone for this is to switch to super unleaded, which is a higher octane 97 to 99% E5 petrol, which is expected to remain available at most fuel stations after the E10 comes into use. I question that later on, but we'll get to that. But that costs, super unleaded, 12p a litre more. So it's stinging you in the back pocket at the very least. And that's only for a few years, and then you'll be forced to go on to E10, which will start slowly eating the engine of your vehicle. It's great, isn't it? Seems very convenient the government claims to want us all in electric vehicles and then bring out a fuel for a small impact that will kill all petrol engines. Now here's my opinion on this. The gentleman that had highlighted this on Twitter, we owe him a thank you for that one. He is 100% correct. And here's my opinion on it. The government want us out of cars, don't they? They can't persuade us to do that. So what option do they have? Well, they get rid of E5 stock, because we've got a massive surplus of that, even though there's a shortage. That's manipulated by the media, panicking the nation over fuel. Then they bring in E10 sooner than they've advertised, and it gets to work killing your car while reducing the efficiency, so you have to fill up more, which means more cha-ching profit, doesn't it? All the while telling you it's a green and healthy for the planet. Now at this point I would like to state, I'm a biker. I love my bike. I like my bike being petrol, and there's not much you can do other than replace a lot of the parts of your engine, which is a massive outlay for ourselves, with ethanol resistant components. So it doesn't actually stop the degradation, it just slows it down a bit. You see where I'm going with this? Absolutely disgraceful that they've not told anybody about this sort of stuff. So I'd like you to share it out, everyone. Make sure you do share it out. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.